Stop scrolling for just 1 second. Seriously, look at your living room right now. What do you see? You probably see a dark screen, maybe a soundbar gathering dust, and a little black box tucked away somewhere. It looks standard. It looks boring. Most people look at the Apple TV and see a simple streaming puck. They think it is just a way to watch Netflix or YouTube in 4K. They think the next version coming out in 2026 will just be a little bit faster, maybe a little bit smaller. But let me tell you, they are completely 100% wrong. If you dig into the code leaks, the patent filings, and the whispers coming from the supply chain, a completely different picture starts to emerge. The Apple TV 2026 is not just a streaming box. It is a secret weapon. Apple is quietly building a device designed to replace your game console, your smart home hub, and even your remote control forever. Today, we're going deep into the rumors. We are uncovering 5 hidden features of the upcoming Apple TV 2026 that nobody is talking about. This device might be the most underrated product launch of the decade, and you are about to see why. The first feature we need to talk about sounds like it was ripped straight out of a science fiction movie, but the reality is that the technology is already here. We call it the Phantom Camera or Advanced Gesture Control. Think about how you use your TV right now. It is actually kind of annoying. You sit down with your snacks, you get comfortable, and then you realize you don't have the remote. It falls into the couch cushions. The battery dies, or maybe your dog sat on it. It is a friction point that we have all just accepted. But rumors suggest that the 2026 Apple TV will change this completely. Apple has been filing patents for spatial gesture controls for years. This means the device could use a hidden sensor bar, or it might wirelessly connect to the camera on your iPhone sitting on the coffee table to track your movement. Imagine this scenario. You're sitting on your sofa, deep into a movie. The doorbell rings. You don't scramble to find a plastic remote. You don't shout at a voice assistant. You just simply lift your hand. You make a stop, gesture in the air, and the movie pauses instantly. It feels like magic. You want to turn up the volume? You just twist your hand in the air like you are turning an invisible dial. This is possible because of the new chips Apple is developing. They're getting incredibly good at tracking movement in 3D space. We already saw a glimpse of this with the Apple Vision Pro. In that headset, your hands control everything. Now, imagine taking that same powerful technology, stripping away the heavy headset, and putting it into your living room. You become the remote. This feature alone would make every other streaming box on the market feel ancient. It turns a passive experience into an active one. But gesture control is really just the surface level. The second feature is the one that should make companies like Sony and Microsoft very, very nervous. We are calling this the silent console killer. For years, the narrative has been that Apple doesn't care about gaming. Gamers have laughed at Mac gaming for decades. But that changed recently, and it changed fast. The new chips inside the latest iPhones are already running massive, console-quality games like Resident Evil and Assassin's Creed. The 2026 Apple TV is rumored to use a variation of the M4, or the A19 Pro chip. These chips are absolute beasts in terms of performance. But raw power isn't the secret weapon here. The secret weapon is something called hardware-accelerated ray tracing. If you're a tech nerd, let me explain why ray tracing matters. It is the technology that makes light, reflections, and shadows look realistic in video games. It simulates how light bounces off objects. Usually, to do this, you need a giant, expensive PlayStation 5 or a high-end gaming PC that costs thousands of dollars. But Apple has figured out how to do it in a tiny, energy-efficient chip. If these rumors hold true, the 2026 Apple TV will be able to play major AAA games with incredible graphics. It won't just be for playing Angry Birds or casual mobile games anymore. Imagine buying a device for maybe $150 or $200 that can play Grand Theft Auto 6. Apple is quietly building partnerships with big game studios behind the scenes. They are creating a game mode that reduces lag to almost zero. They aren't marketing it as a console yet, but that is clearly the plan. They want to sneak a high-power gaming machine into your living room under the disguise of a simple TV box. Now, let's talk about the brain of the operation. This is the third feature, and it is crucial for anyone who cares about how their home works. It is the local neural engine. Right now, think about what happens when you use a smart assistant. You ask Siri to turn off the lights. That voice recording goes from your living room, travels through the internet to a server farm somewhere far away, gets processed, and then the command comes back to your house. This causes a delay. It feels slow, and more importantly, it raises huge privacy concerns. Who is listening? Where is that data going? The 2026 Apple TV is rumored to have a dedicated neural engine designed specifically for offline processing. This means it thinks for itself, right there in your living room. This allows for something called proactive intelligence. The Apple TV won't just sit there waiting for your commands like a dumb machine. It will learn your habits. It will start to understand your life. It will know that every Friday at 8 p.m., you sit down and watch a movie. So, at 7:55 p.m., it could automatically dim the lights, close the smart blinds, and adjust the temperature without you saying a single word. It processes all of this data locally on the device. Your private schedule never leaves your house. This makes the smart home feel actually smart, not just a remote control you have to talk to. It becomes a central brain that manages your entire home environment silently in the background. It is about anticipation, not just reaction. The fourth feature is for the audiophiles, the people who love good sound but hate the clutter. We call this audio holography. You might already know about spatial audio, where sound feels like it is coming from all around you. But the 2026 Apple TV could take this to a physics-defying level. There are strong rumors that the new Apple TV will work in tandem with a LiDAR scanner on your iPhone. You would use your phone to scan your living room quickly. The Apple TV then takes that data and builds a precise 3D map of your furniture, your walls, and your ceiling. Once it knows the shape of your room, it can manipulate sound waves perfectly. It can beam sound to bounce off the wall behind you. It tricks your ears into thinking there is a physical speaker sitting behind your head, even though there isn't one. You could have a full, rich surround sound experience without running wires across the floor or buying 5 different speakers. It uses computational audio to create phantom speakers in the room. This would absolutely destroy the market for cheap soundbars. It is an invisible home theater system powered entirely by math and powerful processors. It makes high-end audio accessible to everyone who doesn't want to fill their room with boxes. Finally, we have the fifth feature, which might be the most important one for the long-term future of Apple. This is the hybrid operating system. Right now, if you use an Apple TV, it runs tvOS. It looks like a grid of apps. It is functional, it works, but it is flat. It feels like 2015. The rumors point to a massive redesign that looks a lot like Vision OS, the operating system for Apple's VR headset. The icons might become round and glass-like. They might have depth and 3D layers. But why change the look? The theory is that the Apple TV 2026 is being designed as a base station for Apple's future AR glasses. We know Apple wants to release lightweight glasses that look like normal eyewear, but show you notifications and maps. The problem is physics. To make glasses that look normal, they have to be small. If they are small, they can't have a big battery or a powerful processor. They will need a hub to do the heavy lifting. The Apple TV will be that hub. When you are at home, your glasses will wirelessly connect to the Apple TV. The box does all the processing, and it beams the video to your glasses. This makes the Apple TV the anchor for the next 10 years of Apple technology. You aren't just buying a movie player. You are buying the foundation for the augmented reality future. So, when you put all of this together, what do we actually have? We have a device that sees your gestures, plays console-quality games, manages your home privately, creates holographic sound, and powers future AR glasses. It is a massive upgrade hidden inside a small package. In my opinion, this strategy is absolutely brilliant. Think about it from a business perspective. If Apple released a dedicated game console, people would compare it directly to the PS5. They would say, "It has fewer games, why should I buy it?" If they released a dedicated smart home hub, people would say, "It is too expensive, I have an Echo." But by putting all this technology into the Apple TV, they're using a Trojan horse strategy. You buy it because you want to watch movies in 4K. That is the hook. But once you have it in your house, you suddenly realize you don't need a game console anymore. You realize you don't need a smart speaker anymore. You get locked into the ecosystem because the device offers so much value for the price. If these rumors hold true, the Apple TV 2026 will be the best value for money tech product on the market, period. It transforms the living room from a passive place where you just consume content into an active, intelligent environment that anticipates your needs. I am genuinely excited to see if they can pull off the gesture control perfectly. We have seen gesture control fail before with things like the Xbox Kinect, but Apple usually waits until the tech is perfect before they release it. If they get it right, it could change how we interact with technology forever. But what do you think? Which of these features would you actually use? Would you trust Apple with a camera or sensor in your living room for gesture control? Or are you just excited to play GTA 6 on a tiny box? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of tech, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Share this video with your friend who is still using an old cable box and needs to see the light. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss out on the latest leaks and rumors. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.